Good day to our respective lecturer, Dr. Zamino binti Zamzamir. We would like to present our group assignment titled General Administrative Approach to Management of Frederick Winslow, Henry Gant, Henry Fayol, Mary Parker Follett, and Max Weber. Before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce my group members. We are in three. Me, myself, Mishalini Raghavanaidu, and secondly, Aruna Raghu, and lastly, Kausalya Arasu. These are the table of contents. First part is introduction. The second is general administrative approach to management of 5 of them. And lastly will be conclusion. Introduction. General administrative theory refers to a management strategy that focuses on articulating what managers do and what makes excellent management practice. Administrative management evolved into a critical component for any successful organization, and it plays a critical part in ensuring that operation operates smoothly. In an organization, there are different types of approaches that implemented and created in the management. Lastly, each theory has their own strength and weakness, so it's up to the manager how to combine those theories to get one of the most effective methods. The figures and their approaches. First is Frederick Winslow. Second is Henry Gant. Third is Henry Fayol. The fourth will be Mary Parker Follett. And lastly, Max Weber. Let's discuss about their approaches to management. Firstly, the approach of Frederick Winslow. Frederick Winslow's biodata. His name is Frederick Winslow Taylor. He was born on March 20, 1856, and he died on 21st March 1915. He also published a book entitled The Principle of Scientific, and he also known as the father of scientific management. Taylor was one of the scholarly originators of the efficiency movement, and his thoughts affected the progressive era from wide perspective. Taylor summarized his proficiency strategies in his book, The Principle of Scientific Management. Besides that, one of his approach to management will be the classical management theory. This theory emphasizes the effort to set comprehensive guidelines and methods for managing a complex organizations. He also created 4 principles in management. First, use the scientific approach to investigate work and find the most effective way to execute certain activities rather than relying on rules of thumb. Second, rather than assigning people to any task, match to positions based on their capabilities. Third, keep an eye on worker performance and provide those directions and supervisions. Lastly, distribute work among managers and workers. The next part is Frederick Winslow's approach in today's content. Company theory nowadays use this theory because a very effective theory able to increase the development and productivity of an organization. The next part will be the related example of his approach, which is Amazon's culture, which defines as digital Taylorism. Unnecessary worker initiatives should be axed in favor now known especially through the standardization of workplace operation. Moreover, digital Taylorism is an extension of the early concept, refers to the enormous variety of digital technology used to supervise personal and the commercial process they are involved in. The next part is advantages and disadvantages of his approach. In factories, where repeated activities are completed, traditional and scientific management theory approaches can be applied. There are several advantages and disadvantages of his scientific management theory. by Frederick Winslow Taylor. First advantage is enhanced production because it focuses on continuous improvements in corporate process. The scientific management theory is accountable for increased productivity. There is constructive collaboration between managers and employees, resulting in improved teamwork. The organization's output is aided by the amicable interaction between management and workers. Secondly, disadvantage of his approach is management takes control. The management is fully responsible for the supervision and planning of workplace operations. Managers lack innovation because they seize control of their staffs, and another reason is because they repeat the same task, making their job meaningless, dull, and tiresome, lowering employees' enthusiasm. The second approach is about Henry Gantt. Henry Gantt's biodata. His name is Henry Lawrence Gantt. He was born on May 20, 1861, and he died on November 23, 1919. Henry Gantt is an American mechanical engineer and management consultant, and he also well known for his work in scientific management development. He created the Gantt chart in 1910. The Gantt chart is a tool shows what happened throughout the course of a project in a visual, graphic format. The chart focuses on the sequential completion of activities that make up a project. It identifies important tasks, provides an anticipated completion time, and sets a start date to each task element. The next part is approach in today's content. Many of his ideas of Gantt chart are still being used in the project management, like planning and scheduling. Project via laptop in achieved the goal that they made. The next part is the related example of his approach is mainly he invented a bonus system which differed from Taylor's idea of a fair day's compensation for a fair day's labor. Gantt invented to determine a standard average time for completing a project or assignment. However, if he took less time, he got compensated for the extra labor as well as bonus of up to 20%. This strategy also known as the progressive rate system. The next part is the advantages and disadvantages of his approach about Gantt chart. The first advantage is a good communication tool. It is because of this visual aspect that is a great team communication tool. Indeed, each project team member may now see and track the progress of these tasks allocated to him, as well as progress of the project's many players. The second is disadvantages can be complex and confusing. This is because for a large projects with many tasks and subtasks, a Gantt chart might get confusing. Adding extra tasks or changing the timetable has an impact on the entire chart. There are also Gantt charts benefits, which is it aids in the breakdown of tasks into specific elements. Secondly, it allowed for the monitoring of project timelines. Lastly, it identifies which tasks are dependent upon a prior or element. Next, I pass to Kausalya.
Next, Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol was born on July 29, 1841 in Istanbul, Turkey, and he died on November 19, 1925 in Paris, France. Henry Fayol is founder of the 14 Principles of Management, which is division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interests, remuneration to employees, Scala chains, order, equity, stability, initiative, and esprit de corps. And he also finds the five functions at the management, which is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. The related example of Henry Fayol's approach are McDonald's. McDonald's still influenced by Henry Fayol's principle in their own organization still now. The approach that follow up until today is division of work. Next, the advantages of Henry Fayol's approach are improved the understanding, and the disadvantages are two perspective. Next. The fourth general administrative approach to management are Mary Parker Follett. Mary Parker Follett was born on September 3, 1868, and she died on December 18, 1933. Her approach in today's are integration and power. She also provided invaluable advice of the need of powering with and the powering over employees. The advantages of Mary Parker Fowler's approach are direct contract, and the disadvantages of the approach of Mary Parker Fowler's are the communication will be complexity. Next, I would like to pass this presentation to Aruna.
Okay, the third one will be Max Weber. Firstly, I would like to start with Max Weber's backdrop, which is Max Weber was a German sociologist who argued bureaucracy was the most efficient and rational model private businesses and public offices could operate in. His bureaucratic theories influenced generation of business leaders and politicians well into the 20th century. His theory of management, also called the bureaucratic theory, Max Weber's bureaucratic theory of management proposes that the best way to run an organization is to structure it into a rigid hierarchy of people. So, the bureaucracy is defined in the dictionary as a system of controlling or managing a country, company, or organization that is operated by a large number of officials. So, there are lots of approach that we can realize from Max Weber. According to his theory of management, Weber identifies six characteristics of bureaucracy. The first one will be task specialization. The second one will be hierarchical management, formal selection rules, efficient and uniform requirements, impersonal environment, and last one will be achievement based advancement. After that, social class is a deeply important concept and phenomenon in sociology. Today's sociologists have Max Weber to thank for pointing out the one's position in society relative to others is about more than how much money one has. He reasoned that the level of prestige associated with one's education and occupation, as well as one's political group affiliations, in addition to wealth, combine to create hierarchy of people and society. Weber's thoughts on power and social stratification, which he shared in his book titled Economy and Society, lead to the complex formulation of socio-economic status and social class. The last one will be advantage and disadvantage. The first one will be role in public relation. A bureaucracy creates numerous rules, laws that must be followed to the benefit of all, which make the process and system to be slow. Additional rules and laws can be added at visually any time to cause delay, hence complicating the workloads that people must ensure This may include additional forms to fill out. And the disadvantage will be poor efficiency of service and good bureaucracy has one major problem, and it's that equal pay does not occur. Those at top management get greater than what the average worker salary has been in that year. CEO salaries are averaged in the US higher than more than 100 times salary of junior worker. Moreover, in bureaucracy is often a problem. The manager sitting on top may favor their own people and help them rise quicker than more deserving individuals. The next one will be conclusion. In conclusion, the above report indicates that the approach taken by these figures has provided lasting benefits to the organization and needs to be improved in line with current technological developments. Therefore, in order to appreciate and utilize the approaches that have been made by previous figures, we need to examine the approaches that have been made by the figures in the field of management and combine those theories to get one of the most effective methods. Thank you so much.